Hi everyone, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. This is Gina, I am your hostess, super pumped to be here with you this evening to do a very fast and furious comparison video of the MINU version 3 versus the NUNA TRVL and the NUNA TRVL LX. So this was a request from a viewer. Happy to do it for you guys, and these are popular travel stroller options, so we want to make sure that we cover all of this and make sure that you have all the information available to be able to make a great choice for yourself. Now, if it makes sense, go ahead and hit like, go ahead and follow, go ahead and subscribe. The more we grow the viewership on the channel, the easier it is for me to get these products to be able to do these videos for you. And additionally, if you like anything that you see in this video, head on over to my website, destinationbabykids.com. You can buy any of the fabulous strollers shown in this video directly on my website. I would love that. If you're learning about it here, we would love for you to get it directly from us. So I'm just going to pitch myself. We are a real store located in the San Francisco Greater Bay Area. Yeah, so let's launch into the NUPPAbaby TRVL versus TRVL LX versus UPPAbaby MINU version 3. Okay, I've got my cheat chart that I made earlier today, and I'm making sure I've got all my stuff I need. Okay, yeah, I think we're ready to get started. So, as you all can see here, I have them folded to start out the video. The reason why I'm doing this is because it's useful to see them all folded immediately adjacent, so we can see the true size of them folded. So we have MINU version 3. We have NUNA TRVL, and then we have NUNA TRVL LX. I will turn each one of these toward the camera so you can see the folded size of them this way as well. Now, if you were curious, your largest for sure is going to be TRVL LX, and then NUNA TRVL, and then MINU version 3. So this kind of shows in ascending order, but they're all very small. Now, the thing that's going to make the UPPAbaby particularly special is that when this one is folded, it's small enough to fit into an overhead compartment. The NUNAs will not be able to do that. There's no amount of wishing amongst a star. There's nothing that you can do to make TRVL or TRVL LX fit in the overhead, but MINU version 3 is suitable for overhead flight travel, so that's very exciting. All right, I went ahead and opened the NUNA or the UPPAbaby MINU version 3 up for you guys. We will open up the TRVL and the TRVL LX. I'm going to open TRVL LX first, just because I grabbed it first. Nice part about the NUNA options is that they do include a little bit of a shoulder bag, a dust bag, if you will, included in the purchase price. How much do they cost? We'll get into it in just 1 second, gang. Just gonna remove this bag. But again, if you were gonna gate check this, it's nice that they have a bag included in the purchase price for caregivers to help keep it clean. It's a very, very exciting feature. Okay, TRVL LX shown in cedar. MINU version 3 is shown in Grayson. And TRVL, NUNA TRVL, the original. This guy is going to be shown in NUNA's black color, which is called Caviar. So a lot of times people call the store and they freak out and they say they want black, and you're like, I have Caviar, and they're like, but I want black. That's the NUNA black color. It's called Caviar. So it's quite nice, black with the brown handles. Okay, so there we go. All three opened up and able to be seen. Now this is where the chart's going to be really useful, because we want to be able to actually compare these guys usefully for you, and that's what chart is going to be helpful for. Okay, so price points, that's a great place to start. TRVL LX is going to be the most expensive of the three that we're looking at. NUNA TRVL LX is going to be $550. NUNA TRVL, which is this one here, this is going to be $450. And then we go to UPPAbaby MINU. This guy is going to be $399. So $400, $450, $550. That is the price differences there. MINU version 3 will go from birth all the way through to a 50-pound kiddo. NUNA TRVL, the original TRVL, will go 6 months all the way through to 50 pounds. And NUNA TRVL LX, which is this guy on the end here in the cedar color, this one will go from newborn all the way through to 50 pounds. And I will demonstrate that shortly. Some other things that I just want to hit on immediately in the video is sort of some of this cross comparison with size. If you can hear the cellist playing, I'm not sure if you guys can, but I can hear somebody playing the cello next door. It sounds very nice. Now, if we talk about the size comparison here, MINU version 3 has the tallest backrest height. So if it looks taller than those two, it definitely is. You're at a 21-inch. Travel is 16.5-inch backrest height, and Travel LX is also 16.5-inch backrest height. The harness, minimum and maximum height, as far as where the harness goes, the harness minimum on MINU V3 is 11 inches. It goes all the way up to 16. On Travel, it's 10.5 and goes up to 15. And on Travel LX, it's 10.5 and it goes up to 15.25. So Travel LX, again, a little bit more than Travel, but still a shorter distance on the harness than the MINU version 3. Canopy clearance. That's the distance from butt to the top of the inside of the canopy. So that is the distance of how much room they have before their head would hit the top of the canopy. On the MINU version 3, we're at a 26-inch canopy clearance. That's awesome. On Travel, we're at 26. And then on Travel LX, this was shocking. This was 28. So that will definitely hold a long-bodied kiddo. That's a really nice feature. The width of the seats is 13 on the NUNAs, and on the MINU version 3, you're at like 13.5. So a little bit wider here. The depth here, though, is shallower. So the depth on the MINU V3 is 8 inches. Depth on Travel is 10. Depth on Travel LX is also 10 inches. Now, there is this lower buckle on the car seat that goes in between the legs. There's two positions on MINU version 3. So those two positions are at a depth of 3 inches and 5 inches. There's only one position on Travel, and that's at a depth of 4 inches, and there's only one position on Travel LX, and that is at a depth of 4.25 inches. Now, the extension, which is this piece here on the stroller. On NUNAs, you're at 6 and you're at 5 inches respectively. So Travel LX is a 6-inch extension. Travel LX, or a regular Travel, is a 5-inch extension. And the extension here on MINU V3 is 5.5. So it's a 5.5-inch extension. So your knee drop. So that's going to be from where the kiddo's knees kick over and then go all the way down to the foot of the stroller. Your knee drop on the MINU V3 is 11 inches. Travel is going to be 10 inches. Travel LX is 11 inches. Now, handle height. Let's talk about that. So as you can see, Travel and MINU V3 are pretty much the same. Those guys are going to be at, I would argue, 41 inches tall for your overall handle height. Now, if we skip over to Travel LX, I like to think of it as XL because extra large, right? Taller handle height here. Your handle height's going to come up to 43 inches. Now, the weight of this stroller, Travel LX, it's the heaviest of the three. It's at 17 pounds. Next heaviest is MINU version 3. That's going to be about 16.5 pounds. And your lightest weight of the three is the NUNA Travel. NUNA Travel is clocking in at about 15.5 pounds. So they're all pretty close in weight, but like think, 15, 16, 17. So nice and lightweight. The basket openings. On your NUNAs, the front of the baskets open at 7 inches and the back is 8 inches. On your MINU V3, you're at a 9-inch opening on the front and 7.5 on the back of the basket. All three of these strollers have very accessible open baskets, so I'm going to spin them around just to kind of illustrate that. Hopefully you guys can see. But that shows that you have a good basket accessibility on all three of them. And so we love that. The shelf on all three is 17 deep by 14 wide on MINU. The shelf on this guy is 16 deep by 13.5 wide. And then shelf on Travel LX is going to be 16 deep by 15 inches wide. So those are things to consider. Now, something else that's interesting is that both of the NUNAs have swiveling tires in the front that you can lock by pressing, there's like a ribbon, and that will fix your tires from a from a swiveling position to a fixed position. So this means now if I want to walk through grass, gravel, sand, different types of terrain, on the NUNAs, you're able to lock your front tire. UPPAbaby did not add that feature to MINU V3. They didn't have it on MINU version 2, but I would have loved to see them add that feature on MINU version 3. I do think that's a bit of a bummer. I do think a stroller tire lock is a really, really nice feature. And most strollers do have that. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. So just little differences. Front bar is included on both of these guys, and that's going to act as a car seat adapter, and we will show you that. There is a front bar that's available to be purchased here separately. It is $40, and it would match whatever leather color handle that you have. So you would have to be mindful when you purchase it from destinationbabykids.com to make sure to pick the correct color that goes with your MINU version 3. Now, as to car seat compatibility, the NUNAs are car seat compatible with NUNA infant seats without any additional purchase. So that is essentially what people are buying with this stroller. You recline the seat, and the front bar that's on it functions as the car seat adaptation portion. So I've got a NUNA infant seat here. As you can see, it just clips directly in. I'll go ahead and clip it into the black stroller as well, just like that. So, you know, it's locked in, totally safe, secure. Now, UPPAbaby, on the MINU version 3, you will be able to clip a car seat onto it. You can clip their car seat, but they'll also have adapters for NUNA, Cybex, Maxi Cozy. Hopefully we can make peg work on it too, but those adapters are not available yet. They're probably coming, I would think, first week of March, hopefully somewhere around there. But just things to be aware of. Now, something that will always get asked in every single one of these videos that I make, which one sits the most upright? I would argue that the NUNAs both have a more upright position on the backrest than MINU version 3. It's probably by a matter of degrees. So it's not like insanely more upright, but it is just something that as I'm looking at them right now, NUNA does a nice job with that backrest coming very, very upright. So if that's a concern for you, I would say that either one of the NUNAs gives you a little bit more of an upright position. Now a trade-off might be, and this is something I will point out on TRVL or TRVL LX all day long, if you have the canopy retracted on this stroller, it's going to be touching your fingers while you push. It rests on your hands. I really wish they would redesign that so that it wouldn't do that, because I find that to be incredibly irritating. Now, some people would never even notice. So again, it's just an opinion, one person's opinion. Take it for what it's worth. Just something to be aware of. And you can sort of finagle it to make it so it doesn't do that, but just something, you know, if you don't want to live your life that way, you will never encounter that with UPPAbaby. Even when you pull this portion back, the canopy is not going to bump into your fingers. So something to be aware of there. I've engaged all of these guys with their canopies fully extended to kind of show how much sun coverage you get. And then the other part that we want to touch on with this for sure is how both MINU version 3 and the TRVL LX are going to be suitable for a newborn. So as you can see here, we recline the seat all the way down in order to make it suitable for a newborn. And because TRVL LX is the one that's suitable, I'm going to set this here and do that guy too. We'll do the NUNA regular travel. And again, that will recline deeply enough for like a 6-month plus kiddo. But on NUNA, you have a super deep recline, as deep as your MINU V3. And then both NUNA and UPPAbaby have this little option for an apron piece to sort of come up and keep kiddo contained if that's of value to you. So nice feature on this, you just snap it. I'm not making this look very easy. It is pretty easy once you do it perfectly. Okay, so that's on there. And then for NUNA, kind of a similar deal. The NUNA snaps are located on the outside of the material, whereas on UPPAbaby they are located on the inside of the material. Not the end of the world, just little differences about where that snap placement would be. So if you have a kiddo that's sensitive to feeling something like that, just be aware on UPPAbaby they are placed on the inside of the fabric. Okay, so now we've got our little apron set up on both of them. Makes it so that the kiddo doesn't fall out. And again, if you hunted for that piece on travel, if we were to look for it, it just won't be there. And the reasoning behind it is that this is not suitable for a newborn without using a car seat. So again, with MINU V3 or Travel LX, the seat reclines deeply enough for a newborn, and you're able to use it without a car seat for a newborn by reclining that seat and engaging the little apron just for extra additional security benefit. So nice feature set there. All three of these guys have excellent ventilation, meaning that if your kiddo's in here and you want them to have air, you're gonna get that on your NUNA. It's ventilated on the top as well. Travel has one mesh window. Travel LX has 3 on the canopy and 1 on the back. Travel has 1 on the canopy and 1 on the back. And then MINU V3 has a very large breathable window on top. And if you wanted to open up the top to get airflow going through, there is a secondary zipper that you can unzip for the canopy to come fully forward. So if you wanted more airflow in there, you'd be able to get it by doing that. So that's exciting. Let me see if I can go ahead and zip this back on. I've never actually fully unzipped it. I've only partially unzipped it. Whew. All right, we didn't break it, so that's always a good sign. Actually, that went on pretty easy, so that's nice. Okay. One thing I'll point out with Travel LX that I actually am really, really fond of is when I want to sit the seat up, I can just use my leg. I don't actually have to pull any strings, which is really exciting. If I wanted to do that on travel, it's not going to work. I have to use the little straps on the back to pull up toward the sky, and that is going to give you your most upright seated position. And again, on Travel LX, you just shove it forward and it will hold whatever is the tallest position that you reach while you push. I have to set these back, otherwise it drives me absolutely crazy. Sorry to be so rigid about it, guys. I'm sure it's annoying to watch, but I have to do it. Okay, and then we'll have the footrest come down. I will say it's nice on the MINU V3, the footrest on your Travel, and your Travel LX is a 2-hand adjustment. On MINU V3, the foot plate is adjustable with a single hand. So I don't need 2 hands to do that, which is kind of a nice feature. Little differences. Okay. All 3 of these have a sandal-friendly brake. So on MINU, you press red or green to stop or go. On the NUNAs, you press down for the brake, and then you press that same brake mechanism again to release it, but you don't ever have to toe up underneath with sandals. That can be annoying, so very nice feature. The recline mechanism, as we talked about, Travel LX has the best recline mechanism where you twist it, it comes down, and then you push up with your leg. These 2 are still easy, but it will require more hand involvement, so something to be aware of there. How much do the baskets hold? We talked about how each seat holds 50 pounds. Your NUNA baskets only hold 10 pounds apiece. UPPAbaby basket is going to hold 20. So if having a big basket and having the basket hold a lot of weight is important to you, UPPAbaby for sure does a better job with that. So something to be aware of when you're looking at these kind of strollers. The NUNAs have a magnetic buckle, so that is a nice feature set. You'll press the button and it comes apart. The MINU has a traditional buckle set, very, very simple and easy to use, plastic pieces that go together. Now, one other thing that I thought was kind of interesting about this stroller that was different than the NUNAs is that on the UPPAbaby, we talked about harness height earlier. On UPPAbaby, when you have a kiddo getting bigger and getting toward the top of the harness actually widens. So you get a little bit more body space and like head and neck space toward the top of it, and it's narrower toward the bottom, which makes sense because when a little body is in there, it'll be tighter, and as they get bigger, they get wider. So I do think it's nice that they widen that. On both of the NUNAs, it stays at that 3 inches all the way up the whole entire body length. Here it goes as wide as 4 1/4, which I just thought was really a nice feature that UPPAbaby's being mindful of. Another thing with MINU is that MINU includes a liner. So this liner is fully removable and washable. It has snaps, which is really great, and it goes under kiddo's butt as well to collect crumbs. NUNA has liners on their bigger strollers, but on the travel strollers, they don't have liners. They have the backrest padding sort of puffed out and fluffy to kind of trick you into thinking that the liner's removable, but it's definitely not removable and washable like it would be on MINU version 3. So something to be aware of there as well. Just little differences. Now, warranty. Warranty on MINU version 3 is 3 years. Warranty for the NUNA is going to be 2 years. So both of these brands do a really nice job with warranty. Rain shield. If you want to buy a rain shield for the version 3 UPPAbaby, it's going to be 30 bucks. For your travel strollers, it's 50 a piece. Cup holder. Cup holder here is 30. Cup holder for the NUNAs is 25. There's a tray available for the MINU version 3 for $40, $45, $44.99. Travel strollers theoretically don't have a tray that works, but I do think you can cheat it with the Tavo tray. Don't quote me on that. I'm not going to pull one out to try it, but I'm pretty sure that that would work. It feels like it's the same joint. I could be wrong, but something to think about. I'll do a video on that if I can. Talked about that opening of the strap distance in the top, the liner. Again, MINU is the only one that's going to go in the overhead, whereas Travel and Travel LX will not go in the overhead. These are gate checked. These all could be gate checked, but only the MINU V3 as it sits will go into the overhead. It does have a strap for carrying it. And again, because these two come with bags, you don't need to worry about the strap. The fold on your Travels is more novel. So there's like this novelty of it folding up on its own. I mean, yeah, that's really great, especially, you know, in certain situations, I could see that being very beneficial for people. Nice feature. But again, on MINU version 3, it's not difficult at all to fold it. And you have a travel strap right on there to be able to put that over your shoulder. So we do love that. Now, one other thing to look at on all three of these, and they all push beautifully. So like that's another thing that people always ask in these videos is, which one pushes the best? Let's talk about that for a second. There's no locking mechanism also on your travel strollers from NUNA, which means that once they're down, if you grab them by the wrong spot, they're just gonna open up. So something to be aware of, if you want a stroller that locks, your Travel and your Travel LX do not have any type of built-in frame lock. They just collapse, but once you start lifting them, they will open up. On MINU version 3, it's fully locked. It's not just gonna pop open. I have to engage the same buttons that I folded it with in order to get it to open up, to be open for folding. So I personally like when a stroller can lock together. I think that that's a nice feature. I like it to stay nice and, you know, taut and locked. So nice feature on MINU V3. We were talking about the novelty of the fold. Oh, the tire size. That's what I wanted to go over. So, and the push. Because Travel LX has the largest tires of all of the strollers that we're looking at, from a physics standpoint, Travel LX is going to be the easiest one to push. So the bigger tire that you have, the less effort you need to exert in order to get the tire to rotate, okay? So because the tires on the LX are the largest, to me, when it's loaded with 50 pounds in the seat and 10 in the basket, this will be marginally easier to push than either one of these two guys. Now, when I say marginally, I mean really, really marginally. I would give all of these strollers like an A for how they push. They push beautifully. But if you were like, hey, I'm gonna go maybe more outdoors with it, I'd really like that option to be able to do that, I would say your Travel LX is probably the most outdoorsy of the three because you can lock the front tires and you get the largest tires. So Travel LX tire size, your back tire is 8.5, your front tire is 6.5 inches. On Travel, you're at 6 3/4 on the back and 5 3/4 on the front. And then on UPPAbaby MINU version 3, you're at a 6.5 inch tire on the back and a 5.5 inch tire on the front. So MINU version 3 has the smallest tires. Well, of course it does, because it's the one that's small enough to go in the overhead. It has to be small. there we are, right? So hopefully we're all arriving at the same conclusions together. And then travel kind of is like in the middle, right? Because it's not that big, it's not that small. It's just folding really easily, comes with a car seat adapter built into it. It's the ease that you're buying with travel. And then Travel LX, I would say, is a really great option for someone who just can't commit to a small stroller. Like they're pretty convinced they're gonna want that maybe more all-terrain capability with it. Again, I would not call it an all-terrain stroller, but I'm just saying for a little and lightweight, if you want the largest tires and the largest handle height and the largest canopy clearance, Travel LX does that. But again, your backrest height on MINU V3 is larger. It's a slightly larger seat. It's slightly more accommodating with the way that the canopy, the harness works. So just things to be aware of, as well as holding more weight in the basket. So just different things to be aware of. You can buy travel bags for all three of them. Again, these two come with bags, but they are not bags that are, I would say, really like truly padded enough for gate check. So you'd probably still want to buy an additional bag for these guys. If you buy it here, it's $150. If you buy the travel bag sold separately for UPPAbaby, made by UPPAbaby, it's $90. Each one of them gives more warranty once you do their travel bags, so it's a very nice program. You could certainly look into that. But we just really wanted to hit on those feature sets, the way that they fold, the way their baskets are, and then sort of the extra hidden costs if you wanted to do additional things with it, like car seats or cup holders, trays, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, if you guys have questions or you guys have comments, go ahead and feel free to leave them below. Again, please like and please subscribe if you have not done that yet. Just refolding all of these. And the folded dimensions and the open dimensions, I believe, for all three of these products are on my website, destinationbabykids.com. Go ahead and hit any of the links below to head over to my website and take a look at any of these and feel inclined to purchase them. Go ahead and buy it right directly from me. We will get them in the mail for you. Version 3s are already shipping. I have blue ones in stock, so if you want to buy it and have it shipped right to you, go ahead and head over to my website and you can do that. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If it makes sense to see my other video about MINU versus MINU version 2, MINU versus Butterfly, Travel versus Travel LX, Travel versus MINU version 2, whatever the hell you want. I got it all. Head over to my YouTube, go over to the website. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.